Welcome to Liberty and Grace, episode number 4. From West Virginia, I'm Chris Polk.
And from Lexington, Kentucky, I am Ezekiel Goodwin.
Alrighty, here we go. So, it's been a while. The last episode that we did was on May 8th of 2016. So what's that been, about a year and some change? We had all the best intentions of creating more content, but life's been a little bit of a roller coaster for the both of us. So we're getting back into the swing of things here. So we're going to pick right up where we left off. May 8th, 2016 was right when Ted Cruz had dropped out of the race and Donald Trump became the presumptive nominee. And we had some fun with that, not knowing what was about to come with the election and the election night, which was just precious, watching all Hillary's people crying and watching all the neocons wet their pants at the sight of the great leader, Donald Trump, ascending to the throne. And then, so now we've had about 5 months. Yeah, it's been right at 5 months from January 20th to now. No, 6 months. So he's been in office for 6 months. The Earth is still continuing to rotate on its axis. He has made a lot of really stupid decisions. He has kept up the war machine. With the appointment of Jeff Sessions to Attorney General, he is pouring some gasoline on the drug war. So, I'm singing, what would this be, like the 5th term of George W. Bush? I mean, it's been a goat roping and a comedy show. I mean, there are things that I see of people defending Trump that just absolutely, it terrifies me. The worst offenders being people. I even saw, I think it was Isaiah chapter 54 being rewritten, that, no weapon formed against Donald J. Trump shall prosper. Wow. Okay, so it's been a year and a half since we've done a podcast. Donald Trump's been the president for 6 months. What say you, Zeke?
Yeah, there's not been a dull moment. I tell you what, it's been everything I hoped it would be, expected it to be, knew it would be. I guess I shouldn't say hoped it would be. I mean,
well,
I still remember when Syria got bombed for the first time by U.S. bombs, and we knew it. We knew it was happening, and it became public. And 18 people were killed. That airstrip. I guess I shouldn't say I hoped any of that would happen. It was sickening, but not unexpected. Like
right.
You said, I mean, we talked about this a year ago. We knew Trump talks a big small government talk. We're gonna shrink the government and we're gonna fix this. But we knew that he really was an insider. We knew he rubbed shoulders with the Clintons and all them other political elitists. So no surprise. But it's been so entertaining. I mean, Twitter. We're ordering cafefe now at the grocery store.
Is it fair to say when we make a statement? Because I've said the exact same thing, that it's exactly what I'd hoped it would be, and that's only about the reactions. The reactions of the social media posts. That's what I'm talking about. I vehemently oppose the foreign policy of the United States going back 50, 60 years, 100 years probably. I oppose the drug war. I oppose the immigration controls and the just nightmare that's going on there. That was the one area, and I didn't realize it completely at the time, on immigration, all the stupid, horrible, awful things that he said leading up to the election concerning the border, you know, I didn't quite have the perspective then that I do now. But it still bothered me then, you know, this ridiculous wall and the thugs and rapists and, you know, we're going to protect you from the boogeyman on the other side of the border. But, you know, when I think about these things and I'm just driving down the road, you know, in my own thoughts, and I know people don't buy it that I have disconnected myself from these parties. And they say, oh, no, you can't. You know, well, yeah, I can, and I did. I don't hold allegiance to the Democrats or the Republicans or the Libertarian Party, whatever that nightmare is. And so I feel like I can look at these things objectively. You know, you're always going to hold on to some bias of some sort, but this election cycle, to me, is proof that the game is just about over. You know, we have elected Donald Trump, and we have The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Kid Rock. They ought to just run together. Rock 2020. You know?
Yeah, for real. That'd be quite the sign.
I mean, can you smell what The Rock is cooking? You know, Caitlyn Jenner, you know, is talking about running for political office. And I'm like, please, Daddy, give me some of that. I want Caitlyn Jenner to run for and win. That's what I have always had this saying or this thought process in my mind that while I've always opposed the progressives in most cases, I'm not as mad at progressives and Democrats as I am at Republicans, because progressives will say right to your face, here is the gross usurpation of your God-given natural rights. Here it is. We are going to take your rights away. We're going to take your money, and here's why. And then the Republicans on the other side will say, oh, well, look at those terrible Democrats over here. But if you write them a big enough check, they'll do the exact same thing. So coming from an evangelical, neoconservative background and being raised in that movement, I'm a lot more angry at the Republicans when they do stuff like this than I ever am the Democrats, because the Republicans will look at me and lie right to my face. And then they'll trot out pull out the abortion card, you know, and then the terrorism card, and then they just guilt you into silence the minute you begin to question them. So having never been a part of the progressive movement, I'm sure there are people that have come to the liberty movement from that side.
Right, lots of them, yeah.
Yeah, lots of people. And so I'm sure they have their same problems with their former movement. But the Republicans, in my mind, they're just dirty. They're just dirty and corrupt and
self-righteous, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the same could be said about the liberals, but they're more self-righteous in a religious way, whereas the liberals are self-righteous in a more secular way.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I looked at, obviously I didn't vote. I wasn't going to vote. I'm never going to vote. I'm not going to pick between a narcissistic sociopath and a murderous she-witch devil, you know. But when I look at stuff like immigration, you know, and we'll talk more later about that particular subject and how my views have changed over the last few months, but Hillary, the Clintons are kind of safe in one aspect, that they like being famous. They like being in control. And so public opinion polls will shift their direction in a minute. If they think something's going to make them more popular, they'll just, you know, they'll change direction with the wind. And that, I hesitate to call it compassionate, but it kind of is in a way with the progressives. there's a lot of them that honestly care about people. The biggest disagreement that I have with them is they think government is the answer to the problem. But they do care about people, at least the followers. The Clintons, you know, will have a stupid plan to deal with immigration, but it's probably not going to be as much round people up and throw them out of the country. So my report card for Trump and his people and his minions thus far, the most egregious thing that they have done is concerning immigration and drug policy. And I think, you tell me if you think this is correct, but I think it's fair to put both of those kind of in the same category, because most of the people that are as fired up about immigration
are the same people who are complaining about drugs.
Yeah, and their fear component, the piece that, you know, oh well, we got to keep the drugs out.
Yeah, and they got to keep you, the individual, from doing anything that they don't approve of, because.
Yeah, it's now it, you know, I've got to see, you know, I didn't join Facebook until 2009, so Obama was already president, and social media even then wasn't what it is now. It was getting there, but we have not seen up to this point a Republican president operating under social media. Obama was our only example. So, you know, the hypocrisy was plenty. But I'm starting to see right now, Trump's been president for 6 months, and I'm starting to see him kind of run out of steam. There's one guy that we both know and love, that is my Obama bot friend, bless his heart. He hasn't been as active. You know, it's only one, you know, impeach the dirty bastard post a day instead of like 12 that he was up to.
Yeah. Well, earlier. It is summertime too. People are
out
running around, carrying on.
They'll come back from vacation and get back to the hysteria of it all. I mean, largely, while my life has changed a great deal in the last year and a half, none of it has to do with who got elected, and you know,
right.
I'll go ahead and put that out there for context. So I was an owner operator, owned my own truck for 3 years, trucking, tractor trailer, and I had my engine rebuilt in December of 2015, and in April of 2017 it blew up again. And you blow two $20,000 engines in about 16 months, and you're done. It's over. So I came home and am trying to find a way to make a living that doesn't involve living in a truck. And, you know, but Trump didn't blow my motor up. Neither did Obama. I mean, that's, you know, life changed. So I'm not incredibly disturbed or bothered by the people in office. It's the people that voted for him that generally give me the most concern. That's where the most anxiety that I get, and I get I see a lot of positive things on social media. I see a lot of, really interesting conversations happening among people. And so I still have hope for the future for my kids. But wow, there's some stupid people with some crazy ideas that just let them fly and go. So, you know, when it comes to voting, there's a lot of people who believe, and I get where they're coming from. Well, you know, if you don't like the current system, well, you need to vote to change it. Okay, well, that's fine. But outside of me believing that voting is pointless because you're choosing between two people that will do anything for a check, you know, they don't care. They're generally going to keep inside their lines. They're going to stay in their lane, but they'll essentially do anything for a check. And what grace has done for me in the voting aspect is that I no longer have the need to control other people. And grace takes away the religious reasoning to control other people, because I don't live in that fear anymore. My kids just got back from a church camp, right? And, oh, buddy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's hot. Oh, so hot. No air conditioning. I can't believe they stayed the whole week. But it was very old school, old time religion. Everybody needs to go get saved 3 or 4 times a day to make sure you don't burn in hell for all of eternity. And so we had a talk with my daughter before she went. And I said, look, you got to understand you're going to hear some things. And there's going to be a lot of emotion and a lot of repetition about how, if you've, stubbed your toe this week, you better fall on your face and ask God for forgiveness and go back to the altar and blubber and scream and snot and cry and hope with everything you got that Jesus is going to forgive you for whatever you did. And so I told Kaylee, I said, look, you got saved when you were a little girl, and that one was good enough. So when she got home last night, late, she got up this morning, and she comes in the kitchen. I said, so, did you get saved again? And she just laughed. She's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, these camps and these long meetings. Once they get you tired, there's a emotional wall that tends to come down too. You tend to be a little more emotional the more tired you are.
Yeah. All right, so now we've looked back at the year. Neither one of us is really surprised about anything that's happened. It's just been more of the same. It's just sad that the people who opposed Obama will now let Trump get away with anything, and the people that let Obama get away with anything will now oppose Trump anything and everything that Trump does because he's not Obama, but yet he'll do the exact same stuff. So,
yeah, it's like reading an Orwell novel or something, because it is exactly like you described. I mean, I expected there to be some little changes here and there, and there's just not. It's an exact opposite. I follow a few neocon guys, and the way they talk about President Trump is the exact same worshiping way that the liberals talked about Obama. Same language and vocabulary.
and it's been 6
Sickening.
months, and every time somebody says President Trump, I still giggle. Dude, seriously,
Yeah.
Donald Trump is the president of the United States. That's, I mean, how much more lunacy do you need to see that it's over? I mean, at least we talked about, I don't know if we ever talked about this on a podcast, but remember going back and looking at we watched the videos and we have the transcripts of the debates. Was it in 2000 between Bush and
John
Gore?
Kerry and
it was just
Gore,
creepy how nice they were to each other, and they were very diplomatic, and it got a.
Oh, and my policy, I've laid out with my plan, it's going to save this many billions of dollars for the lowest percentile of earning
I mean,
income
and Romney and
Americans.
Obama was pretty much civil, and then, good God, this Trump and just the whole circus has been, sometimes it's like, this ain't real, and what's so fascinating about social media today is the satire is so good that you can't tell if it's real or not.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson just got let out of prison, right? Somebody, now this is scary.
I did see a
all right,
picture of
now this is Mark of the Beast kind of stuff. Somebody, some genius with a computer program, took a press conference where Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys was introducing a new player. All right. And I'm going to be honest. When I first saw it, I thought it was real. So Jerry Jones is sitting here, and we done controversial things before, and we're going to introduce you this new player. And sitting beside him is O.J. Simpson. They took video of O.J. Simpson from his parole board hearing and superimposed it beside Jerry Jones like he's being signed to the Cowboys, and another dude walks up with an O.J. Simpson jersey, and dude, you got to look at it the second time, and you're like, okay, it's photoshopped. But it's so real looking. It's so close.
That's wild.
And it's actually terrifying because they're going to soon get so good that you're not going to be able to tell. And let me plug one of the greatest Facebook pages that's ever been, Christian Conservatives for Trump, where everything's in all caps, and instead, like it says, "Our President Trump." Instead of OUR, it says ARE. Our President Trump praise PREYS praise every day, and the stuff the content itself is humorous and funny. But the comment section is pure gold because these people don't understand it's a fake page, and they argue and they fight, and it's just awesome and horrifying and terrifying all at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the best ones. Second only to Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un is
hilarious.
stellar. Yeah, they're neck and neck. As far as the comment, well, most of the people though on Kim Jong-un know it's fake. But most of the people on this other one, they don't know it ain't fake. And so they're like, even I saw a little meme. You've used Office, Microsoft Office, and it has the little paperclip assistant.
Yeah.
And it's
right, yeah.
And so it says, "Oh, I see you're about to defend Donald Trump. Would you like to turn on all caps and turn off spell check?" That's outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to wrap this one up, and we will be back soon. A whole lot sooner than like 15 months with another episode of Liberty and Grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, like next
week.
Maybe even tomorrow. Who knows? So that's it. From West Virginia, I'm Chris Polk.
And from Lexington, Kentucky, I am Zeke Goodwin. See you next time.